Please do not go out of your way to harass anyone mentioned in this video. Harassment doesn't do anything, and it just makes you look like an ass.
What's up, Shamrocks? My name is CloverBitez, but you can just call me Clover. And today we'll be talking about Andrei Terbea's latest video, how I became alt-right. Alt-right is in quotations because this video is about Andrei debunking the claim that he's alt-right, but as you will see, this video did essentially the opposite. The first thing I noticed about this video is how Andrei constantly talks about how he's not alt-right while regurgitating common alt-right phrases and talking points.
In my opinion, most of the so-called trans allies do it either for some sort of financial or reputational benefit, or out of fear of being cancelled, or both. What also baffles me is the sheer arrogance of some of the more intense left-leaning people who commented on my previous video. Not all of them, just to be clear, but I'm talking about the type of people who get a sick pleasure from bullying creators into submission. And I bet they expected me to come out with an apology saying something like, "Oh, thank you for educating me. Please don't cancel me." And if that's the case, sorry, I'm not afraid of this hive mind mentality. I'm not or political views. They may have gotten the wrong impression about what I stand for. And I will admit that at times the leftist propaganda on YouTube even got me fooled, and I may have regurgitated leftist talking points without even realizing it. But as I took a step back, I let all of that wash off of me. But I'm not even sure what exactly offends them other than the fact that I'm not a carbon copy of the influencers who pander to the leftist echo chamber ideology. And let's sum everything up. I'm not alt-right, or whatever you guys call those who disagree with you over there. I'm not centrist either, and I'm also not on the left, just to be fair to all sides here. I'm just a guy from the other side of the world with my own life experience, my own culture, my own principles, and I will sometimes voice my opinions over here. I'm not even asking you to agree with anything that I say. If you want to watch, that's great. If you don't, then there's plenty of creators to fill that void for you. But I will not be bullied into saying things that I don't believe in, or be apologetic for my opinions either.
And it's not just the talking points he uses, but he also uses the same tactics the right uses to sort of demonize the left. Andrei in this video says he's not on either side, yet he clearly shows more charity towards the right than the left. He talks about the left like we're crazy, insane, terminally online freaks who cancel anyone who doesn't agree with us. Can you guys guess who also does that? Another thing I had an issue with is when Andrei says he's not a trans ally because he doesn't know any trans people in real life.
I've never personally known a trans person and probably never will at this point in my life. And that's not because I'm intolerant or I'm a horrible person, but that's just not a regular thing around here, and I have other priorities in life than to go to seek them out myself. So if you're looking for a trans ally in me, you're not gonna find one. And again, I'm not saying this to be mean, but it's just mathematics. To be an ally to something means to know that subject, to have real life experience with it, or to have some sort of skin in the game. I have neither of those things. And in
my brother in Christ, you don't need to know a trans person to be an ally. Being a trans ally is just being like, hey, trans people are people and they deserve to have rights just like the rest of us. Like, you don't need to know a person to believe that they deserve basic human decency, dog. This part of the video made me really uncomfortable. Andrei uses the fact that he's Romanian to excuse his ignorance? Yeah, let's just go with that.
Became an animator. Other than that one video, I don't really care to share much of my private life, so if you want to know anything about me, that's a good place to start. With this video, I'm gonna try to add a little more context. So, I come from a place with a very traditional culture, where values have been passed down for generations, and where people tend to hold on to certain principles that define and hold their communities together. That stands in contrast to much of the Western culture, where rapid modernization and progressivist politics have heavily influenced social identity. Where I'm from, people don't usually talk about ideology, they just live by what they know. The core principles over here are much more homogeneous. You'll find a strong sense of continuity, stability, and respect for things that have stood the test of time. It's not something people debate. So because tradition is so deeply rooted into the culture, making the two almost synonymous, people here tend to hold their traditional values sacred. Though Western influences of progressivism sometimes do creep in, these principles form a solid wall that has yet to be breached. Now, there was a comment on one of my videos
Okay, first, wow, dude, way to throw your entire country under the bus. Romania already has a lot of bad rep thanks to Andrew Tate. The way you describe your country's culture makes it seem like everyone in Romania is just as bigoted as you are, but when you go into Andrei's comment section, you can clearly see that's not the case. I counted at least 3 people who said, bro, being from Romania isn't an excuse. I'm from Romania and I support trans people. You just suck. Second, if you recognize the fact that you're uneducated on the topic of trans people, why not just educate yourself? It's not like you're living in an uncontacted tribe in the Amazon. You have access to the internet. A simple Google search will tell you more than you need to know. There are so many videos made by trans people that you could just watch. There is an entire subreddit where you can ask trans people. You have so many resources and you're not doing anything with them. I'm uneducated, then do something about it. The last thing I want to talk about is how Andrei constantly talks about how he's not afraid of being cancelled, and honestly, I'm gonna have to call cap on that. I think you are afraid of being cancelled because if you weren't, you wouldn't have made this video. And on top of that, you wouldn't have repeatedly specified that you're not afraid multiple times in this video. Nobody who's actually not afraid of being cancelled talks about how they're not afraid constantly. Just act just a robot. Also, Andrei, nobody is trying to cancel you. You cancelled yourself by making an entire video just to tell people that you're a terrible person, you recognize that you're a terrible person, and you refuse to change. Because I'm Romanian, guys, it's my culture. I hope that one day you see the error of your ways and take steps to becoming a better person, but considering how the world is right now, that is highly unlikely. On the off chance that Andrei does see this video, he's probably just gonna brush me off as some woke liberal trying to cancel him. Remember kids, hope is a myth, happiness is a delusion, and we're all doomed. I'll see you in the next one.